Deputy Commissioner Brown issued a statement. Police responded on October 8th at 5:12 a.m. to a call of a dispute inside the synagogue's outreach center in Brooklyn between the security guard and the man there. The security guard told police that the individual was sleeping naked in an area reserved for women. When police arrived, the individual had put a pair of pants on. The officers used force to arrest, in which Ehul, Halevi, male white, 21, was charged with assault, trespass, resisting arrest, harassment, and unlawful possession of marijuana. The NYPD Internal Affairs opened an investigation of this incident yesterday after having seen a video of it. The matter was also referred to by IAB to the Civilian Complaint Review Board. One of the officers, who's a male Hispanic, 49 years of age, and assigned to the 71st Precinct, has been placed on modified height assignment while this incident is under investigation. Okay, and I just want to explain to you what modified assignment means. Basically, the officer is assigned to administrative duties. He's relieved of his gun and his badge, and that's basically the action that the police department has taken in regards to this incident so far. I've spoken to many leaders since then. I spoke to Rabbi Fagelin, and we're trying to work through this, really, and come to some resolution. But the fact of the matter is, it's an open investigation. I really can't comment on the specifics of the allegations and the videotape, but I can comment on, the perception of the police and how the police treat people, and the code of conduct that we expect from our officers.
Last year I was attacked by the officers with many false charges. This time they beat up a guy. Maybe next time they're going to shoot a guy, and they're going to get away with it like the last time, and this time they're getting away with it. Do you have a response for that?
Well, this incident happened last September, correct? Okay. All right. I first became aware of this incident yesterday. I know there were allegations.
No one knows about it.
I know there were allegations that were unnecessary force used. I really don't know the specifics of the situation, but I can tell you that every time there's an allegation of a disputed arrest, an unwarranted arrest, excessive use of force, unnecessary force, we take the complaint from the individual and we refer it to the appropriate agency.
You guys refused to meet with the council board.
You said you guys refused to meet with whom?
With the community council. They begged you to come. They begged the city to come. You guys pushed it under the rug and you refused to come to meet with them.
What the gentleman is saying is that the police department refused to come to the Crown Heights Jewish Community Council and discuss the matter. And that's true because the protocol in the police department is whether you're making an allegation of discourtesy or some other unprofessionalism or some wrongdoing that could rise all the way up to something that's criminal, we're going to refer it to the appropriate agency for investigation. And the officer has certain rights, and there's a lot of forms of discipline that the police department go through. So when you've been wronged by the police department, you really need to make the report to the appropriate person, and then it will be investigated fully and thoroughly. We work in a large agency. We need to do things according to policy and procedure. We're not going to step outside the guidelines of the way the police department told us to handle our business. As the executive in the 71st Precinct, I can go out and meet with the community. I can discuss people's issues, their concerns, allay fears. But the officer is not going to sit down there and have a mediation because there's a process that the police department goes through.
In this case, it's not just the police brutality, which maybe sometimes is necessary, but the allegations against the individual, which were clearly not correct.
Particularly the assault you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, the allegations of him assaulting the officer.
Right, that's exactly what
I didn't hear that addressed.
Well, the deputy commissioner, do you have anything else to add? Because I just want to answer the statement fully.
We expect the cops, the police, to say the truth. We believe them, we trust them because of who they are. And we also expect the police department to represent their citizens and to answer to them. Not just to protect the officer, but we expect your department to show some concern towards the citizens.
Well, it's a very valid point. And, you know, if I expect, and we do expect as the police department and society in general, we really do expect people to submit to the authority of the police officer. And if the police officer's character is flawed or his integrity is in question, then it makes it very difficult for the person to submit to that authority. And as for the allegation of assault against Ehul, in this particular instance, whenever the police are involved, engaged in an incident, and we're taking action, and this actually applies to a whole bunch of other civil servants, bus drivers, firemen, EMTs, teachers, nurses. When we're conducting our business, and you're trying to prevent us from conducting our business, and an injury occurs, you don't have to punch, kick, slap. You don't have to have any intent to get charged with assault. The mere fact that the officer gets injured, or the doctor, or the nurse, whoever it is, while they're conducting their business, that makes it an assault in second degree. So I know it's very difficult for a civilian to understand that concept, but that's the fact of the matter. And you know, the district attorney's office is here, and if there are any inconsistencies in the officer's statement, the district attorney is going to take a hard look at that. And that's all part of the process that will go on as part of
Was the officer allowed to take the first punch before the assailant, or supposedly?
Listen, I can't get into the specifics of this matter.
The officer hurt him fist.
What?
Is that
what was the
protocol for
statement?
officers?
I just want to let everybody in the room
My
know.
statement is the officer protocol calling always for him to take the first punch at the, so to speak, suspect.
What he's saying is it all right for the officer to initiate the
Is it
physical
a protocol to do it?
right? I mean, that's what you're saying, right?
Right.
Is it okay for the officer to
Is it
initiate
what's
the
acceptable
physical
that he
force?
should do it every time?
Well, the answer is it depends. It depends upon the situation.
The officer
And
is
that
allowed
will-
to take the first, give the first punch?
Yes, sometimes. Absolutely. I'm not commenting on this situation particularly, but yes, sometimes we can throw the first punch. Absolutely.
So the guy has no rights? He's just
No, everybody
stand there and
has
get punched?
Everybody has rights in this society, and everybody has responsibilities in this society.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I need to ask again. Is there a representative from the DA's office?
Yes, there is.
Was this brought an indictment through a grand jury?
Is this case being... No, the matter currently is being handled by the district attorney with Ehul as a defendant. But as a matter of course and as a matter of procedure, as they go through their case, if they find there's some inconsistency or some problem with the officer's testimony, they will refer that to the police department.
Is the officer losing his pay, or is he on paid leave?
Oh, he's getting paid.
Oh, beautiful. So he's on vacation, paid.
No, he's working, but he's paid. Any other questions? Yes, sir, in the back.
I'm just a little bit concerned, or more than a little concerned, about the culture in the 71st Precinct. Culture in business, if you're in manufacturing, you're trying to produce the best product. If you're in healthcare, you're trying to produce quality, culture of safety. I'm questioning what is the culture of the 71st Precinct. As you're the commander, you set the culture and the tone of the 71st Precinct, because you're actually the vice president of the 71st Precinct, and you have your corporate leadership to carry out. So that a police officer could go ahead and do such a thing, obviously he thought that he could get away with it. So there's a culture in the 71st Precinct, and that's a concern for everybody in this room, why a police officer would think he could get away with that. What's in the 71st Precinct culture?
As I said earlier, the matter's still under investigation. And as to culture, we constantly address our officers, and we constantly tell them we expect them to deal with every single person in the community in any situation as they would expect one of their family members to be treated. We pound this into them. This is the way we want them to act. We let them know that when someone's resisting arrest, we're allowed to use the necessary force and nothing more. And we also let them know that when that person's done resisting and the person's handcuffed, it's over. That's it. We're done. The 71st Precinct has executed over 2,500 arrests for the year. There's always going to be disputed arrests in the police department. There's always going to be disputed summonses. This conduct is not tolerated, and there's some serious allegations and there's some serious issues raised with this video. But the way that is handled is not going to be at my level. We have a whole different bureau in the New York City Police Department that investigates misconduct from the police department by our members, and it's being investigated. I'm not privy to how their investigation is going, but I'm working in conjunction with the commanding officer of the force group in internal affairs. The stuff he needs, I get to him, and we're working together closely. We understand there's real serious allegations. But if you're trying to tell me that you believe that there's a culture of the police just bashing me, I have to disagree. Because we're out there, we're writing thousands of summonses a year. We're issuing thousands of tickets for people that urinating in public, riding their bikes on the sidewalk, hundreds and thousands of motorist tickets, and we're also locking up thousands of people. And we really get a relatively few number of allegations. In anything, when you're in an adversarial role, it's the police department, there's going to be people that are unhappy, and there is always the remedy to address your concerns. It may be the CCRB, Internal Affairs, or even the District Attorney's Office, and we're cooperating fully with the investigation. It's going to go on.
Can all the communities come together and be concerned about input?
Yes, I can answer that question.
Yes.
I can answer that question. No, actually, Carl's going to take the forum for that one.
I just want to address your question. For 10 years, I've been involved in the community as president and as treasurer. And because of the fact that I know that the Jewish people, as much as the black people, we worked together from 1991 when we had that incident in Brown. So even though you don't see them on the street applauding, believe me, they work underneath to make this community a better place.
I can't comment on the particulars, but basically you're concerned that the investigation's active. When the investigation's completed, what's going to happen? And you answered all the questions. You answered the question when you asked the question. Basically, when the investigation's completed, if they find any misconduct, it can range anywhere from retraining all the way up to termination. Right? If these allegations substantiated, it's not going to be a retraining. I'll tell you that right now. But I can't comment on the investigation. But each one is treated individually, and a lot of times that officer's disciplinary history, his service history, will come into play. Once if and when he is found guilty of some misconduct or any wrongdoing, this play process kicks in. And we actually have our own trial process in